Okay, this looks really weird. My other little thing broke, and so I had to put on another one because these little packages are like 30 bucks to get this ring light thing that holds your camera. Because before, when I was trying to do it, it was so dark and everything. And then my daughter said, there's little lights you can get that hold your camera. I was like, oh, cool. Are you okay, honey? That was a chance in a million. Anyways, so she had told me about the little ring light thing. Gosh, she's a crack up. And so anyways, they come and it's like 30 bucks for these packages. And they come with all these wackadoo little things to hold your phone that make no sense. And this one is real bendy. It's like trying to have this real bendy little straw thing hold it. But all the things keep breaking. So I'm going to have to order another set again. I want to find one that's better. They're so chintzy. But anyways, that's why it looks weird. But everything's weird, obviously. Still, I can do a 2-minute fart. So, no, it wasn't really. We had a timer on it, too. It was probably like 10 seconds. But that's like that earthquake thing. Something that can be really quick. It is, can seem like it's so long. Like 30 seconds is the longest 30 seconds. You won't even believe it. But I have a whole shit ton of things I wanted to talk about. I even had to write them down because it was starting last night. This looks so weird. This looks like the same like when I go outside, how I look around and everything looks super 3D, which I'll tell you, I mean, everybody's got to be seeing this footage of the U2 concert at this new Spherodome or something, which I don't know what is going on, what they're trying to do. Like, I don't know if it's for good or for bad at this point. It's so hard to be able to tell because, you know, some things seem good. This was a meditation one, too. See how they just put in the commercials? I'm turning it off. It's annoying me. Anyways. And so, at this point, I should just start over. Go fresh. Okay, so, anyways, we covered the camera thing. This looks weird, so it's going to keep looking weird to me every time I look up. It just looks strange. And it still has gas. Luckily, the room doesn't stink. But I have had to light a lot of incense lately. And I know it's got to be environmental. Yesterday, we went out for a walk. She wanted to go for a walk. She was supposed to go for a walk. And it was not raining. And it was seeming like it was going to be nice. So we went out for a walk. And there was like no clouds or anything. And I was like, oh, maybe it's going to be a nice day. And so then I came back. At some point, for some reason, I started doing something in the yard. And I started having a conversation, too, in my head. Oh, I don't want to do this. And it's like, oh, what are you going to do? Just go in and watch old movies all day? It's like, you know, having this conversation between these two different, everybody can look at it how they want. It's kind of, to me, it's just like this higher mind kind of debate. You know, it's kind of like giving you both sides so that you get to see, like, you know, you're not just going on one side, you know, like a robot. You're kind of evaluating more of the situation by trying to look at more than one side. And so, anyways, they're always doing that to me. My higher self or whatever, these people who I feel like have been training me. Like, I feel like I've been in training since I was a kid or something now. It's weird. This whole thing is so weird. And it is so much of the stuff. You got to go at your pace because I'm telling you, there is times where it is like, oh my God, is my mind just fractured? Is this like, is anything real? Like there's certain times where it just is, it will be so confusing. And you got to just kind of catch up with yourself. And keep reminding yourself, you know, that you're an eternal being, that this is all normal, everything is fine. But it is very, it's very strange, all of these things while they're going and stuff. But so we went outside. Oh yeah, okay, so then I decided I was going to stay out and do the cleaning stuff. And so I start cleaning my yard. And I'm still having the little debate going, oh my God, I don't want to do this. I don't feel like doing this. But it's going to look so good when you get done. And so I go through and I do it. And I was like, oh my gosh, it looks so good. I can't even believe how good it looks. Just because there's been several storms. And between the storm, well, all during the storms, all of these pine needles, this constant pine needles. So the ground has just been saturated. All those pine needles that were everywhere were saturated, sticks, branches. And so when I go out and I rake the paths, it always looks so good because it just looks so cleaned up. And it just looks, I don't know, it always reminds me like of a park or something. It just looks, I don't know, I like it. And even the squirrels, they seem to give their approval. They run out and they're playing. And then, of course, I had to go clean up all the dog poop, and that makes Stella so happy when I clean it up. It's like, you know, nobody wants to leave their toilet unflushed, so she always appreciates that. And it always gives her such a job. She really, that is like such an important part of her whole purpose in life is to sit outside and watch over and make sure nobody gets me while I'm working. That is what she wants to do. She wants there to be someone to protect me from. She wants me to be doing something, You know, she's sitting at my feet now, but, you know, she's ready to charge somebody. But she is, that is her whole purpose in life. And so she gets so excited. And then she wanted to keep going for more walks. We went for another walk. And then she just wanted to go over and bark at her boyfriend. And so then that wasn't a very long walk and come back. But I was just doing so much stuff. I never went back to sleep or anything. I don't remember if yesterday was a 1 o'clock in the morning day. I think it was like a 1:30 in the morning. And I just never go back to sleep until it was like, I think around 6:30 or something. It was already getting so dark. And I was like, fuck this. I'm going to lay down and I turned on some old movie. I don't know. I really like, oh yeah, it was Kolchak and the Night Stalker. So I watched that, and then I think I was falling asleep during it, but I didn't even wake up. Like, I'm starting late. It's so funny because when I'm starting late, I feel like I gotta be sane. Like anybody knows. Nobody knows what time I'm starting. So funny. Nobody knows what time I'm doing this, but it is 5:48, so I am later than normal, but I was just so out, like, man, and I still, like, all this sleeping that my body keeps wanting to do. Like, I am so fucking exhausted, and even if I sleep 11 or 12 hours, it's just like I'm still so tired. Even if I'm sleeping and napping all throughout the day, and then go back to sleep at night, I still feel tired. I just feel exhausted. It's weird. And it's not just like brain tired. It's like my eyes, everything. It's like I just want to lay down and sleep all day long. Then it's like, fuck, are they drugging us? Is it the energy? Like, what is going on? This is so weird. How's it going from like I was sleeping like 4 or 5 hours and feeling great to now sleeping like 11, 12, 13 and feeling exhausted, like I can't barely get around. But I mean, I can get around. I was out there working. I did rake the whole yard. I did so much work out there yesterday. Just little things, you know, but it's crazy how you can just do little things, like move something and be like, oh my God, I like that so much. I had a big old stack of branches, and I broke them all down for start. So I broke them all into these little bundles to start the fires with. So a bunch of stuff like that, you know, which then you feel so much more prepared for winter. Like even the squirrels, you know, they're out there running around. I'm sure they're preparing for winter. And so it just makes you feel like that. Just so excited, so happy. Like, oh, I'm all prepared for winter. Even though winter is starting so fucking early. But I still got to get another load of wood brought in. But it's the one that I'm going to keep it like right up here by the door. I'll probably, if we'll legit go through this whole winter thing, which, fuck, everything I keep seeing, I really think this Nisarga start, this is the weekend. I think that the last weekend, serious shit happened. I think all these different weekends where they've said that there's been action going, but I think this is the one where it's going to really, and you know, I just wondered too, like the floods in New York, what's up with that? Because that's where the towers were and they did hit them. Was there storms there? Where did this water suddenly come from that raised so high? And isn't that weird? They have all these migrants here. They have all this, put up the camps, all that shit going down. And then suddenly it's just this major floods like that. And so, I don't know. There's just, you know, there's way too much stuff all the time that is just so suspicious. It's like, the things are just ridiculous. And so, you know, is that the attack on America? Is just going to be that? I mean, I don't know. I think we're going to kind of be under attacks until the next few days. Well, I don't know, because it's so hard to say, because the government now has said they're closing down for October 1st. And so all of the money things. So this will be, you know, the big, however it's going to go. And it's got to go fast over the next few days. If they're saying, you know, look, we're all going to be on our accounts by 10/8 or 10/10. I think they were saying 10/8, which I think today's the 30th. It could be the 29th. I don't know. But that is like the weekend and then next week. So a lot of stuff has to start happening. And so it should just really start going a lot faster, which it seems to me like a lot of stuff is going faster. Like Feinstein to suddenly go, which, you know, when I kept seeing, they kept showing footage of her, I was like, oh, hell no, she's been off the guard. Like, she looks like she's death, man. She's on her way out. And who even knows? Like, are they just wheeling around Bernie? You know, weekend at Bernie's, wheeling her around like she's already gone. Like, I don't know what the fuck. But she, and then there's a whole thing, of course, because she just got that 2 days before, or 1 day before. She got it on the 27th, so I don't know what days, if it was the very next day or 2 days later that she was. But see, that's part of the show, part of them too, bringing forth what they want to highlight. So, you know, she probably really met the squad. And so she probably, because that's where they're mostly going, and that's probably why they have to shut down the Congress and shit, is probably because there's too many of them missing. They're like, what the hell are we going to do? We got to just, because they're all waiting for their sentence or something. But they're all in trouble. Like, so this is going to be like the lead-in or something, whatever's going to go down over the next few days. What was I going to say? There was, oh yeah, because that sphere thing, it is so fucking cool. It's so fucking cool seeing it, seeing the footage. It's so trippy, but it is also like, I don't know. It's like another encapsulation, like another metaverse or something. Like I just don't get it yet. We just gotta see, because also there's shady shit with Bono, man. It's shady shit, and I don't know, you know, if he tried to be a good person and then they tried to trap him in something, and so he's just been like a undercover agent kind of person, or if he really has participated. But he's definitely, you know, involved or around bad people. And Yesterday I was last night. Yeah, I put on Pandora. And I don't know what it was. Like, everybody who keeps making these TikToks, one of the reasons why I want to sit and listen to some of them is just because they put on such good music. And, but their videos, like, I don't want to see a million of these. And that's what happens every motherfucking time. You stop for 10 seconds and look at a goddamn video. They're going to send you 10 more of them. It's like, I don't want to see 10 more of these. I just want to hear that song for a second. So, I put on Leonard Skinner and Leonard Skinner Station last night. So it was all this like 70s kind of, one song came on where I was like, that seems out of place. But I don't know, kind of war, like Vietnam kind of music or something, like back in when I was younger. I always liked that. It just brings you, like, you're listening to that music, this older music, and it just brings back, like, different memories or something. One thing that was weird, too, is, like, any of the older people like me who, were teenagers back in the 70s and stuff, and Foghat Slow Ride came on, and so I'm dancing around to that and stuff, and I was just thinking about, like, being a teenager back then when that song came on. It was just, like, so sexy. And it was so, like, that song came on and, every single person in the room was thinking about doing it with somebody. And it was just, like, so I started thinking about, like, how things shifted, how they turned, and, how they got things to, because there's a few that come on, and they are pretty dirty songs for back then. And then, but, it still turned into Cardi B, like, and so it still went so much further. But when they started trying to really make it, like, so sexy and about sex, and the rock stars about being sexy and sexualized, and then about them just being out of control. That's what it was that came on, was fucking the Welcome to the Jungle. And so then I was like, it was like they wanted to turn the rock stars into like idols, but just out of control. Drugs, breaking things, and then have those be, the role models for kids. So they were already turning things in a darker direction. They already could see that they had control. They already saw that they could set trends through music and stuff. I think they saw that, like, back, like, with the Greasers. Who knows how far back? I know when rock and roll started, that was like, like, the older generation thought the younger generation was going to hell for sure. Like, that was just way too sexy. And, a lot of these older movies I watched, they are talking about all of this, stuff, it's just weird. Like, you'd have to go back and watch some of them, and you could just see, now, see, she's not making noise, and now she's stinking up the room. You just see, like, how they talked about things. You can see the direction they were trying to turn things and stuff. So, and it just, that's all done on purpose. Like, if you need confirmation of it, it's out there. It's all around us all the time, everywhere. That how much that they were controlling and what they were using to control. And how it all went together, like this whole style. Like, they made styles, trends, like they're always in control. And it's like that they would, I don't know, kind of set the trend to see how much control that they had. Kind of like the same thing as this. Set the trend and see how much control they have. And then their reaction. And their reaction is, of course, bullying us and attacking us. Somebody made a really, I think, obvious point the other day was, that the attacks of these, globalist, whatever these people are, that you know, when they go in to try and take over our country, because they had already taken ours over. They already had it. But they, it was the whole thing that they could get Trump in there, and that Trump could get so many people to love him. And they weren't expecting it. They thought Hillary was going to win still. They thought they cheated so hard. There was no fucking way. That's why she was just like accusing him of cheating. It's like, you can't cheat a cheater. Like, what the hell's going on? But that was the hand of God. That was everything turning in our direction so that, you know, the movement would begin. And then you start seeing, like, why are they attacking him like this? Why are they doing these things to him? This is like a total takeover that you can't fight. Even a billionaire that has all these things, it's showing us how they just can come in and destroy. They can destroy someone's life. They can take away all their money, take away their reputation. Like, these are all things that we have to witness. It's a part of this, you know, scene. It's a part of the whole thing. I mean, it's being so extreme. But what this one person was talking about is something else they're doing now to him. And they said, you know, it's people have got to start seeing these extreme attacks on him and all of his supporters. And it was like, fuck, yeah, because that has been, the attack has been on him and anyone who supports him. And the amount of support he gets just keeps going and growing because of their extremeness and because it's becoming so disgusting and people are seeing and it's just outrageous and people are waking up. That's the whole thing. That's what woke me up to it. Well, I just saw how that they were treating him in the media and the stuff they were saying and the lies. And then when I tried to tell people and the reaction I got, I was just like, oh my God. Woke me a straight ass up too. This world is not what we think it is. There's some control going on here that we don't know about. So that really was beautiful for me. It was hard. It's hard to see. It's hard to see, and then it's hard to tell anybody what you see. Everybody has to see it on their own. And, you know, even doing this, it was hard to come out and, you know, it's hard to speak your truth anytime, to come out and say, you know, and put yourself out there. But it was, it still is important, you know, it's important for us to all just keep moving towards the speaking our truth, being truthful to ourselves, standing up for ourselves, having dignity, having, what is that word? I keep seeing like 2 or 3 words. It's like melting them. Integrity. So having integrity, you know, being true to you. That's the thing where so many people aren't being true to themselves. And they are, and that is what's going to hurt them when things turn and go the other direction. Which it's turning, it's all turning. This is one thing, too, that I saw yesterday that was just like, I almost went and recorded after this. I was just like, what in the holy hell? You know, so again, I've said this the whole time because I know that a lot of people, you know, you're all out there seeking. You're seeking answers, trying to figure out what's going on, what's happening with you, what's happening in your body, what's happening in your reality, in your relationships, all of it. And trying to understand, you know, and if your spirit is just opening up to you, that's a whole new world to try and understand. And so it's, you know, a lot. And so while you're out seeking, you're looking, you know, and listening to people, and some people have great personalities, they have a great aesthetic, they seem to know what they're talking about. And so, you know, you're following along and being like, you know, hell yeah. And you got to recognize that a lot of these people they have not done their own spiritual work. They haven't done their own. You just got to think about it. Like, how would mass population just go straight ass into, they're healed. They just woke up and they're healed. They're just all good. They're healed. Everything's great. Just don't pay attention to things that bother you. Don't hang out with the people that you don't like. Always keep yourself in a safe position. You know, it's like, these are not healed people. They are not in a position to be telling others how to maneuver through this, but this is a part of it anyways. You know, it's kind of like the handicap group over there. You know, it's like the ones with the walkers and stuff. Like they're all come limping in together because they didn't have anybody who was showing them the way. They're just, you know, they're stumbling through it, which that's all okay. Like, that's part of it, you know. And, you know, like I've said, there's people who are out there doing it in a very public fashion, that they're, you know, putting stuff out there that, you know, I can see is, you know, gonna blow up. Like, I can see all the time. And this one is just, you know, my whole point is you got to really pay attention to the information that people are getting and giving to you, because they don't know what they're talking about. I don't know how else to say it. I just got to say it. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because this is a girl who, she's, you know, all fun and, you know, she's progressive, because I know that she's on the LGBTQ part too. And she's a yoga girl. I think she's homeless. Like, she's got this big personality. And I don't even know how big her following is. But, you know, I mean, even leading 10 people in the wrong direction, that is, you're dragging that energy then with you. That negative energy. However, you're leading them wrong, that energy becomes your burden. That's what, you know, that's how I see it. So, that's in my understanding. So, she was saying, because she's a yogi, but she's a yoga teacher. So she's gone through all the classes and stuff. And so the yogi who taught her, you know, when you go through the yoga to teach it, you got to go through a lot of spiritual class things. Like, there's more than just learning some stretches, you know, do this stretch, okay, and then do this one, and you know, it's more to it, because it's about tuning into your body. That's why doing yoga en masse doesn't make sense, because you're supposed to tune into your body and do your own breathing, not a teacher to tell you, okay, now take the next one, okay, now do this. No, it's you tuning into you and breathing into your movements, pulling back. It's going into your body and stuff. So anyways, when you're learning about it, there's more to it than just learning stretches and stuff. So, and she made mention of that in the video, you know, in her learning and when she had to learn about this spiritual stuff. But she said, you know, and I get what they're saying about, when something bad happens to you, like the universe does it, you know, like karma goes around, comes around, you know, you don't have to worry about it. It's always, and I've always lived like that. That's how I live my life. I've been telling you, when I see how people live the other way, I'm telling you, you are so much better off to just hand it over to the universe. Okay, this is your problem to deal with. It's like, I don't know what's inside them. I don't know their intent. I don't know their pain. I don't know their suffering. The relationship is severed. We've finished contact. So it's up to you guys now. Whatever you guys know what's best. That's the way I approach it. And you know, that's, you know, many decades of spiritual learning and growing. It's not like last week I woke up and now I'm an expert. I'll tell you about it. No, it's like books and stuff. You go out and read books and you go out and learn spiritual stuff. You go on a spiritual journey of trying to understand what you're doing here from your soul's perspective, the bigger meaning in life, not the superficial part of it. It's just a different way of living. And so, you know, and so she makes reference. She understands that. But no, revenge is the way to go. And in this Aries full moon, I'm giving you all permission to go out and take your own revenge. I don't care if the universe says they're going to take care of it. When somebody's going to hurt me, I'm going to go and hurt them back. And all these people who have hurt me in the past, and this stuff is coming up, I'm ready to go and hurt them back. This is what I'm, and people can't stop showing who they are. They can't stop showing what's at their core. And hopefully, you know, people hear stuff like that and they'll get disappointed and go like, oh God, I didn't know she had so much healing still left to do. And just go mosey about their business and just steer away from this girl who's in her own, you know, existential crisis. Is to live your life feeling that you need to go take revenge on everyone who's ever hurt you. Oh, what a horrible way to live. What a horrible way to live and approach. And then to tell people and even give them permission, even on this Aries moon, I guess, it's going to be bringing up all of this stuff that you should run around doing revenge. What do we want to turn the world into? The purge? We just all want to run around hurting each other? That's where we want to be? That's how we want to live? Like, what is the energy you're putting out? Like, do you know the laws of the universe? Like, do you understand how what you put out matters? What you are sending out into the world matters? And that's that energy attachment that I'm talking about. And how they had showed me even the other day when I had told one neighbor and then I told the other neighbor, I told them each about each other. And so even though they hadn't met, just me telling them, that pulls their energy. It's like it opens a phone line. And so we have these energy connections, you know, all the time. And my legs are already going. I am so fucking, my joints hurt so bad. I can't fucking believe it. So those energy connections that we have formed all over the place, you know. And so our energies are connected and feeding off of one another. Plus, we have like, you have all this, the dark attachment energy, the dark energy that just is so parasitic, so downer energy. And you have all of that. Like, there is a lot that you're really maneuvering through. Like, and if you're just starting in spirituality, it is a lot. Like, you should really be going and looking into a lot of different spiritual books and stuff. And the self-healing books. All of those kinds of books that will help you, you know, figure yourself out. Because I feel like a lot of people don't realize how lost they are inside there. Oh, that was so loud. See, there's still some fucking shit going on with these frequencies. Last night, this was trippy. This was so weird. So I started, because I had the music on for a long while and just dancing, and I'm just weird. I'm spacey anyways. I'll just stand and stare out the window. People walk by and they're just like, oh God, that weird lady standing in the window. But I go into like a trance. And I just go into a different place in my mind. So it's weird, but I do that all the time. But, so I was having, you know, it was like a good night, but it was weird because it seemed like the first thing I noticed was something was itching my ankle. And so I was itching and itching. And no, there was something before that. I was already feeling the things in my eyes and my nose. And this was really weird because they were going the opposite way. They were coming out. They weren't going in. They were coming out. My nose was like pouring. It was like liquidy. It was pouring and they kept coming. I kept feeling them and they kept going and coming out. And I was like, okay, what in the hell is going on? Then I felt them coming out of my eyes. And even to the point where when I laid down in the evening, you know, and I shut my eyes, I could feel them open my eyelid to get out. It was so creepy. And so I'm constantly like, I'm doing this kind of stuff. I'm like trying to grab. I'm like trying to wipe. I'm like, what in the hell? And you can't see anything. I was like, what is this? Is this like fucking, have they made some sort of multi-dimensional like Neobot things now where they're attacking us? Like, what is going on? This is so strange. And at some point, and I started having the itch on my ankle. So my ankle was itching the fuck. So I put castor oil on it. And it kept itching. And then I was like, okay, I got to control my mind. Like, let go of this itch. This is, something's going on. And so then it started being everywhere, all over my whole body. It started being so much, it was crazy. It was like every nerve in my body was going crazy. And then I started thinking, okay, so is that, these things, I feel them crawling out of my eyes. Like, I am not shitting you. My eye is shut and I feel it lift my eyelid to get out. Like, what the fuck? I feel it come out of my nose, crawl through my nose, come down. I don't know how. I mean, like, I'm fucking magical, I guess. I can just come up with making my nerves move in certain ways or something. It's weird. And it's not like, it's not like you're just sitting there like, I got nothing to do. Well, maybe there's bugs in my face. Let me think about that, No, it's like you're doing a bunch of stuff. And I was burning tons of incense. And maybe they don't like the incense. I don't know. But I feel a tickle right now. But it was insane. Where I thought, this has got to be something with the frequency, where they turn it way up or something. It makes everything inside of us just super. My teeth were hurting. I thought, oh my God, is this what they're going to do? Is it going to even be worse? Is it going to be like a big jolt where we're going to get this jolt of energy that they're going to whap on us? And then is it something to do, like all these people keep saying, something to do with what is inside of us? Like, and none of us know, what exactly we have, because we're all being dumped with so much stuff, and that's what's going to affect us. Like, I know I have metal still in my mouth, and it's weird, because wouldn't it be the silver would be more natural? It seems like it would be more in vibration with my body. And then people who drink colloidal silver, and then plus the colloidal gold is supposed to evaporate all of those neos, the bot things. So I don't know, all this stuff is like, but I feel like it's getting close to the end of this science experiment part. Like, we're gonna go into other parts of all this. Like, there's just like in the cycle of, what is that called? When somebody dies, grief. Just like in the grief cycle, like, we got to go through certain steps, and we're going to go through it as a ginormous society, as a ginormous collective. And the more that we have compassion and caring for the others, the more that will be the energy of what we're going through. We're gonna go through some anger and some a lot of different things, but we just gotta keep things moving through the different parts. But everybody's gonna go at different paces, like if everybody goes through a trauma, not everybody heals from it at the exact same day. Like, it's gonna go through, and some people are losing a lot of people. Like, oh my God, that one guy, like, who had lost 30 family members. Like, there's a lot of people who are losing a lot of, and we don't know their whole soul journey. We don't know what else going on in their whole soul group, the group that they can, kind of like, it is, I don't know, because it is like, man, it's weird, because it's like the incarnations, like, you have a group, but like, yeah, if time, man, I don't know how to explain some of this stuff, because of, like, you have a soul group that you go through these hard lessons with, that you play all these parts with, but it's not like going to work where you have to do it all the time. And so you can, meet up with the group or something. And I don't know if it's like you go through a certain cycles, and so I'll go through these certain lessons, and you go through cycles, and then, you complete like a lesson, like a cycle, and then you go off and do your own thing because, you're in a soul group. For instance, this is how I'm seeing it, is like back, because I feel like I was incarnating here on earth. Like I can see like a few times, but I just have a strong thing back into other parts of the history, not through this part as much that we're in now. But I still feel like, that I remember being a pilot. I remember I was a gay pilot, and I really liked that life. And it was during a war. And, I liked myself. I was like really into sex and sex with guys and stuff. So, I don't have any hard feelings towards that life. I think I just died young or something, probably during the war. But that, and then there's also the gypsy one, where I was that drug or a jewel thief, jewel smuggler or something. That one where it was the tragic end, which I feel like this one has a lot of going full circle from that one. But see, like, I don't know all these different ones, because the other one, I'll remember a lot of as being in a tribe, but I don't know exactly when that was, There's just certain things that I know from it. And it could have been when they first started coming here, and that they first started, slaughtering the tribes. And that could be one of the big reasons why I'm back, is, going against them so hard, is because of the soul cycle completion thing. So I'm coming in to play this other side, like where they really fucked me over in this one life. So I'm here to stand up for myself, stand up against these people of this energy. So there's lots of people that's happening to. But, you have to really know your soul story to really get to the depth of all your stuff. Like I can get lots of flashes and stuff that it's like a need to know thing. They don't give you every little detail of every little life. Well, Mateus DeStefano says he can remember all his, but to me, it would be like a library of lives. You have so much that makes up who you are. And so it's a whole library. But you can have access to different aspects of yourself when you open yourself and acknowledge these different parts of yourself. But anyway, and I think there's a lot of guys here right now who are from the Roman Empire. And that to me is like, well, they would be playing different roles. Some of them could be to avenge. Some people, some of them could have been gladiators. Some of them could have been soldiers. They could be like playing all different roles. And then they're here for this completion. But then there's so many people who were living out in other places. So if I was here living those, and then I was living in the Pleiades after that, like, I don't know how time and space works up there. How it is like this can be going on here, but you can be living over there, but then you can zoom in here and go and enter into an entry point. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's like it's dimensions and stuff. And so, and you have your soul group is like you have a soul, like a pattern you share. You have something that you all share in your DNA. There's like something about you. So, like I said before, to me, it's kind of like in our bodies, how we have different organs. So in the solar system, we have different organs. So, different groups of energy, and that they hold a certain pattern. So it's like a certain vibration. So you have like a soul group that matches you. And that's why I think that there's so many people right now who are meeting on a vibrational level, which is so weird too, because still when I see, like, there's this video at this girl, and she's dancing, you know, and somebody's videotaping her, and she's at a bar, and then she just has these, like, those little captions, and something like, you know, I'm just as good as all the other girls. Why don't you just pick me? Maybe you know, this whole thing. It's like, people, you got to stop thinking this is a competition, and you're out there trying to win the best guy, and everybody's trying to, this isn't what it's about. Y'all have made it that way. Y'all are turning it into this superficial thing. That's not what it is. You guys are making that be a part of what it is. But you can sit back and wait, and your person will come to you. And that is not just, you know, like your one and only. I'm talking to every single one that is meant to be involved in your life will come to you. You don't have to go out and be like, okay, well, is anybody out here? Is anybody out here? No, you can be walking in the 7-Eleven door, and the person walks up, and you drop something and they pick it up for you, and you start talking. No, it will happen so naturally. You don't have to go out and force things. You don't have to go out and be like, well, maybe if I go through 100 different guys, I'll find that one. But, you know, he might like this other girl more. Well, if he likes the other girl more, it's her person. It's not your person. It isn't this kind of competition like that. People are just looking at it in such a strange way. I've had a lot of relationships, and they all just happen naturally. I think in my whole life, I've been on like 2 or 3 dates. And it is the most uncomfortable, awkward thing. I don't understand why people do it. It is so strange. And it makes no sense, because that is not how you're going to be. I mean, some people meet their person, but that's a part of their story. It's not that you have to go out and do that to meet people. You got to go out and do things that you like to do, and then you will meet people. And it's the people who, and that doesn't mean they're going to be like the perfect guy. You can meet them and you can think, oh my God, they're the perfect guy. I love them so much. I just want to be with them all the time. And then you go and you start being with them, and you start seeing like the relationship is not based on, it is based on something superficial, something shallow. There's no substance to it. And so it is an evolution of you learning about you, what you are drawn to, what you need, what you want. So it is you evolving. And some people, you know, get trapped. You know, they're with somebody who treats them like shit, and they'll get trapped, and they'll think this is all they deserve, because there's lessons behind that of you learning, you know, what you deserve. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff you have to forgive. You have to get over in order to get to that place so that you can feel good. So, because, yeah, if all these spiritual people were teaching right, they would be teaching you how to get closer to you, how to become more self-evolved, how to heal your pain from this 3D. But everybody just keeps trapped in the 3D, keeps trapped chasing the same things, all this superficial, artificial, like they haven't broken free. And then it is even, don't pay attention to the things you don't want to think about. You know, hide from the things that hurt you. And that is, you know, that is the opposite of what you would want to do. Like, how would you even develop into your full self if you're hiding yourself? A part of your development is obviously to set yourself boundaries and to be able to take care of yourselves, your own self in all different situations, for you to be your own advocate, for you to be your own, you know, your own police chief, your own protector. You are the one who has to do it for you. There's no dependency on anyone or anything else. And that is a big part of what we're breaking free from, is this dependency, this mental dependency, this emotional dependency. So all of those things are being broke free from. So, you know, you just think about it for yourself. Just look at things deeper for yourself. You don't have to just believe me because I'm saying it. I'm just saying that what I see. And I just see a lot of people who have very limited sight. So, and they think, that they're, spreading the good news, and they are kind of entangling themselves into another energy. Because remember, whatever you're putting out is going to come back on you. So whatever you're putting out is going to come back on you. So, like, I don't know, how does that play out? If you're out there telling people, to go get revenge, and, you don't worry about the universe is going to take care of it. No, you're alive. You go and take care of it yourself. It's like, well, I don't know how the universe is going to feel about that one. I think you're going to have some lessons there. So, just hope that nobody goes out there and starts taking revenge on people and is thinking, well, she told me, because then she has some sort of contact. She is an energetic, like, it's her karma too. Like, you are now associated with what this girl did because you were leading them to go do that. So you have a responsibility towards the energy. So that is, a lot of these people are putting out a lot of energy that is going to flip back on them. And I don't know, this is going to be something to see, when all this goes down. It's going to be intense. And all the people, who feel this huge need to help others heal are really going to see the purpose behind, what they've gone through and why they are in the position they're at, why they are more awake than other people. Because, just like to me, I have people tell me all the time, that they're awake, and on Twitter, on TikTok, they're awake and stuff like that. And then I'll say stuff to them and they have no idea. It's like, there's so many people who think they're awake, and they're just like awake to one or two aspects of the awakening. The awakening it's so huge. It's like they've only opened one or two windows, and there's so much more to go. And that is going to be so impactful. Just because of this, and you got to think about it, because this is all about ego. And that is why there's going to be so much assault on the ego when this happens. It's going to feel like the ego is very attacked by all these things, feeling so stupid. Like, I can't believe I couldn't see. Can't believe I was so tricked. There's so much of that. And so it's going to be very painful and hard for the people to go through. So yeah, all of you people who think, like, oh, you're so confused. Like, what am I doing? I need to be doing something. I need to be helping. I need to be, whatever it is, it's, it can be in all these different modalities. There's just so many different things to learn about connecting to yourself. And but all these different purposes are going to be made clear to all of us. I do it too. Like, I'm coming on and doing this, but it still is like, where's it leading to? Where are we all going? We're going to see. The energy will come back, and then it's going to be like a reveal. Like, we'll understand, we'll see, it will make sense. Things will happen. Things will start going into place. And, people will start coming together. There's all sorts of, good things happening all the time. So, if things aren't yet for you, just keep reminding yourself, if you're doing the work. To me, it's, if you're not doing the work, things are going to happen in life to push you towards doing the work. Once you're doing the work, if you may, go off and then something else will happen and you got to pull yourself back in. But once you're doing the work, you're not going to be hit and bombarded as hard, I don't think. Like, we'll see. Like, I sent my letter to the house place yesterday. I took my next stand, and told them what I thought. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But, you have to be willing to lose it all. You have to be willing to risk it. You have to be willing to put it all on and put it all in and say, I'm standing, I'm putting it all in on this. And I believe that they are corrupt criminals and they are going down and that we are going to win. And I do think it's super close, just because all the stuff I keep hearing, like on the Nissar, there's a lot of stuff I keep hearing, even the stuff that Trump is saying while he's being out. It really sounds like you know how I feel about it every weekend. It's like, oh, please, please. Let me see. Sometimes I write this stuff down and I think, oh, I'll know for sure what I'm talking about. And then I'll be like, what am I talking about? Oh, this one thing. This, I think, is so interesting. Because, you know, I watched one video, so now I got 100 of them. But all of these kids, musicians and singers and these super talented, oh my gosh, little, even tiny kids. And to me, this has got to be showing people, like these, we're not all born the exact same. Like we're coming in, we're not just a bunch of babies being born that need information. No, we are adult humans, or no, we are adult, we are advanced, we are, well established. We're well established souls when we come in. We're not just like these empty shells that need somebody to. We're here for the ride, and we come in equipped. And so, in seeing some of these super talented kids, it's like, ugh. I mean, some of them, it's like, is this just the reincarnation of this person? Like Janis Joplin, you know, is Chuck Berry back? Like, we got some crazy fucking shit where it's like, it seems like some people who were already famous are just coming right back. So, I don't know. I think it's very interesting seeing all of this stuff. But I know it's all true. But the, what was that? Because all the talented kids, but there was something else that was, I can't remember. But there is, it's like a wave of, like that is the wave that is turning things. It's like all these musicians and stuff where you hear them and stuff and it's like the soul is back in music. That's what I think. I think the soul is back in music, and that they were trying to turn it soulless, you know, through the frequency, through the vibration of it, through just sex, drugs, and rock and roll, you know, or rap and violence and anger and, you know, the different things. I mean, in the heavy metal, I think they were trying to get people to be really angry and goth music, or I can't remember what that kind is called, you know, depression and, oh, life sucks, you know. So they just want everybody to just, you know, is back when, you know, music was invented. It was more of a, you know, feeling of expression, wanting to feel and express and make sound and make music. And, you know, it was different when tribes would go out, you know, and they'd be pounding the drums and chanting and all that stuff. It was all like emotional, and, you know, you're bringing in this energy and pulling in, you know, just like how they have got it in the cities where they've got this big dark cloud of energy. See, back when we were tribes, then we would, you know, dance, beat those drums and dance. We would pull that energy. We would pull in that energy. And then there could be, you know, like more positive things. Like, I don't know about if they could control the weather or something, but, you know, say there's a lot of sickness in your tribe and a lot of people keep dying and stuff, and then you start doing those chants and stuff. They probably fucking threw some babies in the fire back then, because they just, you know, there's a lot of things that they didn't understand. But see, we are in a space, and we're in a space of understanding now. So we can see now that, yeah, you don't need to throw a baby in the fire or in the volcano or anything like that. Like, don't need to do an offering. But the dancing around and pulling all our energy together in a common mind, then we are creating that energy. So you can pull in a bunch of positive energy to your village or whatever by doing ritual, like the dancing and chanting and coming together in a big energy kind of way. I'm not into all of these, all this burn the candle and then go and do this and do that, all that kind of ceremony that all these girls are like so into. That's a personality thing. If you feel like you need to do all this ceremony because it makes you feel better, it makes you feel more connected or whatever, that's your own approach to your own existence. And also when somebody was asking about meditation, and she had some questions. Some of you guys that go and listen to a lot of different people, you might want to give her some names to go and listen to. She was trying to figure out about meditating and getting, she's trying to learn a lot of stuff about spirituality, and she's been reading books and stuff, which is so good. That is where you got to go to, is reading the supernatural, the spiritual, the self-help, all those kinds of books, mystical, read books about ghosts, but not just ghost stories, although I love ghost stories, but I'm not scared of ghosts. I know it's just energy. It's not monsters. And alien stuff, there's so much stuff. With alien stuff and the technology, our hidden history. Like, there's just so much. I don't understand why some of these people just want to go straight into teaching rather than learning. Because teaching, then, like this girl, if you're teaching people the wrong thing, and then there's so much to learn. There's so much. And learning about dimensions and physics and, you got to watch out on the science ones, reading the science stuff. I would stick more into New Age, mysticism, supernatural, reading those kinds of things. And then if you're reading people who are scared, well, I guess, if you pull one out and you're reading it and you're, whatever it is that you're reading, your guides are trying to show you or tell you something. That's one thing. Even if you're not good at meditating yet, you don't necessarily have to meditate. You're tuning into your communication. You can do it without meditating. I don't meditate to communicate. And another thing too is to really pay attention to your signs. Pay attention to the signs, pay attention to the numbers, pay attention to the music, pay attention to that stuff. It was when they know you're paying attention, they will be giving you more stuff. They'll be showing you, like, we see you, see us, we're here with you. But you got to remember that they don't just sit and talk like this. Well, sometimes it just depends on who you're communicating with, because some of it will be in talking, and some of it will be in pictures. It comes in different ways. But when you're trying to learn how to meditate, yeah, it's super, super frustrating because you overthink it. You'll sit there and you'll keep thinking, am I doing this right? I'm just hearing noise and stuff like that. And you want to not think you're doing it wrong. Whatever you're doing, you're not doing it wrong. So just the more you relax, so whatever your mind is doing, whatever it's sitting there thinking and it's going, just let it go. Let it go and take you where it wants to take you, on the journey that it wants to take you on. Don't question its approach. Just relax into it. Just start following your thoughts and where they're leading you. And then you're going to find that you're in a meditation, that you're leading yourself into the meditation. It's like I don't know how other people go to sleep at night, But to me, it's just, I've always just laid down and just start a movie in my mind. Just start going somewhere. And then pretty soon you're asleep and you're somewhere. So it's kind of like, do that same thing. Like you're going to go meditate. And I don't know, you can set up the whole room and try and do it my stomach's already growling. What is that? Kind of the rules, the acceptable, the primary meditation stance, like the primary so you're sitting, and you're doing the thing, which to me is uncomfortable. But, I mean, it can feel good to somebody else. So, like, I can just stand in the window. So you can do whatever you want to do. There's certain things that your mind just automatically relaxes real easy and simple. It's like getting in the bath. You'll just, your mind will relax and just let your mind go. Let it take you where it's going to take you. And you'll find yourself questioning yourself. That's part of it. That's part of recognizing what the conversations are going on in there. And another thing, too, is always ask. Give them something that you're wanting, not just this open meditation, because if you ask them something, then you'll feel more like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now I got it. I asked them, and then I relax, and then they will give me the answer in some kind of way. And so, and then also washing the dishes. When you do mindless things that you just automatically do, your brain just automatically goes into this relaxed state. It's the same like with driving, when you realize, like, how did I even get here? Like, oh my God, that's scary. I don't even remember driving here. It's because you go into this meditation and a familiar, like a repetitive thing. Your mind just goes into this certain place. That is where you are in a deeper minded communication. So, and when you're there, you may be thinking like, oh, it's going to be different or something. Like there's people who can go into meditations and they go completely into different places and can tell you about these just really crazy detailed places. Like everybody has all different abilities when it comes to, meditation. So it is, you could be doing it really, really well and not even realize, because you're doing it in a different way than somebody else, and you're thinking you got to do it this way to make it right. So you got to just start recognizing your communication, what's going on in your mind when you go into these relaxed states. And it's kind of like when you get into those relaxed states, it's kind of like when you're listening to what's going on in your mind. Start going up and making introductions. Start trying to figure out like who it is that's talking inside here. Figure out like, where's all this conversation coming from? What are you talking about? What are you telling me? What am I thinking about? And that is, a big part that people have to realize is they are not their thoughts. Their thoughts are not them. Their thoughts are it's the universal consciousness. It's other people's energy. It's thought forms. It's energetic. And so, and that's going to show you also where you're vibrating. If it's a lot of negative, a lot of beat down, a lot of hate, a lot of, life sucks, that's a lot of dark energy. And that is just, to recognize that and start working on getting rid of it and realizing like, fuck, no wonder I don't feel good. Motherfuckers always hanging on me like this, pulling me down, pulling me back, directing me wrong. You got to just start recognizing that and start releasing this dark energy that's holding on to you through your vibration, by raising your vibration and feeling better. They won't stay attached. There will be some that are going to stay attached, but a lot will fall off. If you're in a really dark place and feeling really down, you'll see. You'll just start knocking it off, and you're going to feel better and lighter and better and lighter by doing things about raising your vibration, playing happy music, do things that make you feel happy, do things that make you feel good, make you feel positive, do something to help somebody, anything that you can start doing, those things will make you feel better inside, in your core. And so that will help you raise your vibration. And so but when you are doing the meditation and stuff, like, you can drive yourself crazy thinking that you've got to completely clear your mind, and then, you know, this magic thing is going to come in. And, you know, your guide's going to come and sit down and take you on a trip. It happens for some people, but a lot of meditation is you're just in a communication, in a deeper, you have shifted your awareness from what's happening outside of you to what's happening inside of you. So it's just a shifting of awareness and focusing on what's inside instead of what's outside. So what's inside is a lot of communication, a lot of thoughts, processes, and stuff. So, you know, and they will lead you. I'm telling you, your mind will lead you in when you are trying to relax and you ask a question. My stomach is growling like crazy. When you ask the questions and you are just sitting there, and you've got a time, nobody's around or whatever. I mean, you could put on some music, you could light some candles, you could sit on the couch and just close your eyes and just relax. And as you relax, just pay attention to what your mind's doing. Focus on what your mind's thinking about. Ask it some questions. Why are you thinking about this? What you know, and start communicating with your mind. And the deeper you go into that communication, the deeper you're going to go into that hypnotic state, into that different state of consciousness that you call meditation. So it's but there's lots of, and don't forget about those binaural beats. There's all sorts of meditation ones, but watch out, because they'll put these fucking commercials in and fuck up your meditation. But those will help your mind also relax. Try different beats. You know, the suffragio or whatever. Those different beats. Like, go in and find some that feel super relaxing to your mind. And then set up, you know, what feels peaceful to you in the room. And then just, you know, take time to yourself to just sit there and relax. I mean, and you may sit there, it may be hard at first, where you're like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm just sitting here doing nothing. Oh my God, I could be cleaning the bathroom right now. I should just go in there and do the laundry. I should, you know, and that's where, you know, step in and go, why do you feel that you need to get up and do these things? Why do you feel, are you doing something wrong by taking a few minutes to yourself? You know, that's where you got to start talking to yourself. You'll start seeing, you'll start understanding yourself in a bigger way the more you talk to yourself. You'll start seeing like, oh my God, I always feel like I got to just jump up and do something. Why can't I just sit and relax? You know, and you'll start developing through this communication with your higher self, through your more advanced mind thinking. Let me see what other things I had on my list too. The New York thing, that is so crazy. I cannot believe how deep that water is. And then they keep showing it. It's like, where's all these people? These roads were full of all these homeless people with backpacks. They can't get into the hotels. Like, what are they doing with all these people? And at the same time, they're coming and removing Trump's name off that. Like, it's so dramatic. It's just such a... Oh, this was really cool, because there's this dog, and it is, it's the same as Trixie was. Well, Trixie still is. She's at my one daughter's house. The Golden Doodle. So this dog is one of those. And so I know these dogs' personalities so well now that I've had one come and stay with me for a while. And they're so intense, and they're so anxious, and they're so high-strung, and they're so bouncy and jumpy. It's got so much emotions. And when my one daughter was having Trixie come here to stay with me, before Trixie ever came, I had this entry of this spirit that came. And it was weird. It was like this redheaded woman came to my house. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it was like she came to, like, I don't know, to see me, to like this energetic connection. And so, and my daughter kept saying, well, she's a person. I'm telling you, she's not a dog. She's a person. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, this person came to my house. And so then Trixie came, and Trixie was very much just so dog. Like, that was one thing that my guides would show me all the time with the personalities with Trixie and with Stella. Stella is here. She's got a purpose. Like, she is, to me, she is like a predator animal. She spends a lot of time being a predator. I see all these different parts of her personality. And so, but she's also, you know, my spiritual animal. Like, we're connected. Like, because I could remember when she ate me a long time ago. That terrified me. It was horrible. But then when they showed me that was her, then it was like, oh my gosh, I see what, oh my gosh, because I feel so much love for her. And I don't at all see her as I don't even have the same feelings about me being eaten like I did when I was a kid. I was so scared of that all the time. And but they've shown me, you know, this is kind of her full circle. You know, she ate me, so now she's here to protect me. So she watches over me, and she's very protective. She's got this certain personality. And then when Trixie would be here, she was just bouncing. She was just like, sometimes she would just be so mindless, and they would be like, that's a dog. And but you can see why a person would come in to be a dog. It's the freedom. And what's sad is, like, you see so many, you know, this, but that is a soul stuff. That's a soul cycle, where the people come into experience, but then they have people that don't respect them because they're animals. And so, you know, there's a whole thing that happens. And so you can have, you know, different animals and stuff. They're not just an animal spirit. Like, we can come and be all different things. We could go be a bird. We can be whatever we want. We can go be a roly-poly. We can be whatever we want to experience. And so, so to her, it always seemed like this woman's spirit, it wanted to just come and be this playful girl to get this experience. And I don't know why every soul chooses the lives they live. Like, it would drive you crazy trying to figure it out. And but this was so cool. So this girl has one of these dogs. It's really cute, and I can't think of its name, but I'm sure the videos are going around. I'm sure you can find them, because this dog's in an existential crisis. It is the cutest motherfucking thing. And so, and she's black and white. I'm pretty sure she's a she. I can't think of her name. Maybe like Summer or something. But the owner got her the big communication discs, and she's got a big set of them. And she is really good at using them. I've seen a lot of dogs use them, and I think they're cool as shit. If I had more space here, I would definitely get them. I think they're cool as shit. I even thought about just getting a couple of them to have her learn those words, because you know, it's crazy too, is because, you know, these dogs are bilingual. People are too lazy. Like, I feel like I also try and read her, you know, her language. I feel like her and I try and communicate. And so, but so these people get these communicating tablet disc things or whatever they are. They're like a bunch of little circles that lay on the ground that are all connected. And when you push the circle, it says a word. And it's the same circle. So, and it's one word. So it has a circle, and it can be dog, home, love, go. So it's all these different things. And so this dog is so cute too, but it keeps going and looking in the mirror, and just sitting and looking in the mirror, and then going over to the things and saying, why dog? Why dog? And it's so confused, and it keeps doing all sorts of communication, but it is so confused of why it's a dog. It can't figure it out, and it keeps asking, why is it a dog? It is the craziest thing. There's going to be so many more of these crazy things for people to really understand about a soul. You know, a soul is, it's its own thing. It's not this thing that you think is you because it's what your eyes see. Your soul is the part of you that your eyes don't see. It's a part of you that you got to feel, that you got to know, that you want to communicate with, you want to understand more about. It isn't anything of it that you can see. Oh, because I was watching this earthquake movie yesterday. I was watching some movie, and then this other one started, and it was how like Joanna Kearns and Ed Begley Jr. Earthquake, 1996, the LA earthquake or whatever. Most of the movie was all this science bullshit thing leading up to it. It was such a fucking, it shows the developers and all of that stuff, you know. Shit is so, people are so criminal. They're just such fuckers. And so anyways, but they were saying when the earthquake happens, one of the big part, you know, it's not going to, they were saying there's other fault lines that are going to be way worse. Like there's a fault line that goes right under LA. I can't remember what it's called, but it could just have a 7 and take down that whole place. So they keep saying about the San Andreas fault, but it has to have a bigger one to affect LA. So the one that is going to destroy LA is going to probably be a smaller one. So it's going to probably be, you know, a bunch of smaller ones. Maybe it's going to be like earthquakes leading back. Like, I don't know. It's definitely, you know, it's going to change. It's going to do it. Whatever's going to go down, it's going to happen. And but they were saying that when it starts going, like, some of the places would be affected by water, like all of the beach towns. Like they were saying all the way from, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what beach starts right by LA, but the beach going all the way down the whole coast. They said that the earthquake would affect that with water and mudslides, and it would be like quicksand. So I was like, ooh, quicksand has always creeped me the fuck out. But how many things and people and stuff will just sink down into the mud and stuff, which, you know, it sounds horrible and stuff. But I guess, you know, it'd be quick death. But whatever is going to go down, I think there's going to definitely be a bad disaster. And that is going to move, you know, start moving people away from there. So it's going to probably go through, you know, I mean, we've gone through some disasters, but I don't think the people really get what's going on yet. I think it's going to take the, I mean, it's climate change. It's climate change. That's what it is. It's like, no, we're going through a cataclysm. We're going through, the earth is rolling over. Like, this is much bigger than climate change. That's their tax campaign. They just want you to pay for this shit. So but I think that because Putin has already come out and said it and stuff. You know, there's other people who have come out and said there's a cataclysm coming and people have to be warned. But I think there's going to be some bad stuff that's going to happen. So then we're going to be impacted like, oh my God, they should have been telling us. I can't believe it. You know, we got to go through that whole part. So I think that there's going to be a big disaster that's going to happen in California, a big earthquake or something. But I don't know. There's been so many people who have had these dreams, which is weird how all these people are having these dreams of New York being underwater, and then it's underwater, but it wasn't under tsunami. It's not covering all the buildings, but it's definitely, I don't know if it still is this morning, but it was creepy yesterday too. The subways, the trains, there was flames shooting up out of those manholes. I have no idea what else is going on there. Oh yeah, and there was another creepy thing. And this to me is another disclosure thing, because there's this guy in Seattle who's killing, but he's in the underground city. So he's down in the underground city killing people. So all this stuff is like, that's got to be where people are like, underground city? There's an underground city? So it gets people to start being like, yeah, there's a lot of underground cities. There's tunnels under here. Do you know that there's, you know, so it's just... keep opening the doors to all this information. It's like, it was just so strange. And then, did I finish about the dog thing? Oh, the earthquake movie thing, yeah. So whatever, you know, is going to go down, I think it will be something, but then there's going to be this changeover where they're going to start telling us. I feel so sure they're going to start moving us somehow. I don't know. They probably won't do it in panic because they're showing all these movies. As soon as you tell people something, they fucking freak the fuck out and go crazy. So they'll probably have to keep doing it in, you know, kind of gentle kind of ways, like moving. I don't know. We'll see. They're definitely, well, if a disaster goes on in New York, in California, if a big earthquake happens and a lot of people get killed, there'd be so many people that would be leaving there in mass. It would be huge amounts of people. So see, they wouldn't even have to do a big evacuation thing. The people would just do it out of fear. Then they will start, you know, directing people over places to go, land and places to, you know, to rebuild. Like, I don't know how it's all going to go. Like, I guess now for the automotive places are shutting down, and Trump was going there. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on about that kind of stuff. But this is, we have to have this shut down. We have to let go of this old system. The old system was a trap. It was just draining us of our energy. So we have to let it all go. We have to let it all shut down so we can let it go and then start over, you know, rebuild and change things up. So, you know, there's just a lot of letting go right now, I think. I can't quit thinking about food. I'm starving. That's all I do, I swear to God, is just cook and cook and cook all day long. Well, yesterday I was out doing yard work all day. Oh, yeah, that one city where that mayor now went before the board, and he has told them, you are distributing porn, and you're all going to be held accountable. So that's what's going to start happening. You watch. I'm telling you, there is people who think their family members have an up-and-coming or upstanding job, and they're going to see, like, there was some dark shit. I don't know who all's families are going to be involved in every different thing, but there's going to be dark shit with medical, dark shit with legal, dark shit with education, dark shit with, did I already say medical? Because that's a big one. And definitely in all the city planning, developing, real estate, like, fuck. There's a lot of places where a lot of criminals, and it is that same thing as, you know, what's going on in the inner cities with the energy. Like, there's a certain dark energy, and then people just start participating in it instead of fighting against it. Like, a lot of people go get a job and think, oh, well, you know, I got this great job. I don't want to lose it, so I just got to go along with whatever they're doing and think that they have a good job and then get caught up in it and stuff. But there's going to be people who are going to find out that they were committing crimes and that they are going to be held accountable for it. I don't know to what all degrees, but that's how this place was so dark, is there was people doing it. Like, the Illuminati's not that big. There was a lot of people out doing it. And I don't know. I think a lot of these people, their energy is low vibration. It's not going to be able to continue. And so I would think a lot of them got to be so uncomfortable. There's going to be a big, like a big explosive kind of dramatic, you know, part. And then it's going to become, I think, unbearable. Like, I don't know what it feels like if you're just feeding off of dark energy right now. Like, and one I saw in New York, too, like, the cops were harassing and fighting with these new Venezuelan, I don't know, criminals. Like, there's all sorts of criminals, and cops know. But it's just to create more chaos in the streets, more violence, more scary stuff. Like, the inner cities are going to, all the big cities, horrible, horrible places to be during all of this stuff. But there's going to be more and more going down. For that mayor to tell them all that they've been distributing porn and that they're going to be now held accountable. And then in all those executive orders, so what was that other one too, where somebody was talking about something? I mean, this thing in Cleveland, Ohio now with all these kids going missing. like 1,000 kids this year. And right now, just the past couple of weeks, they've got like 30 or 50 missing. Like, I don't know who's all stealing the kids in Cleveland, but Cleveland, bad place to be. There's like so many different places. They're going to be so horrible to be in. So many of the bigger cities. So, I think that they've been horrible for a while. So, I don't know. Just got to see how everything just keeps riding out. But it is important to see. It is important to pay attention. You know, no matter how much it beats us down, it makes us feel like, oh my God. But just keep remembering that we are on this precipice of change. And it's going to feel so good. Just the financial, the part of just like all of a sudden for somebody to tell you, you don't owe anything. You don't owe anything. As a matter of fact, all your resources are free. So you don't owe anything and your resources are free. How it's going to feel to just all of a sudden be like, you can take a breath. You don't have to stress out. You get to reevaluate, you know. Well, if I don't owe anything, what do I do with myself? What do I want? You know, where do I want to be? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? It's like a whole new experience opens up. But, you know, we have to witness where we came from, what we've done to ourselves, what society had become. You know, it's a part of our human history. It's a part of, you know, what we've overcome, because we're going to overcome all of this. We're going to overcome all of these things that have been done to us, all of these attacks on our health, on our psyche, on our, you know, our mental health, everything about us. We're going to overcome. We're going to overcome it all. We are going to be the victor. So this is a very exciting time, and no matter how much it feels so like hard, because it is hard and it's draining, and it's isolating. There's like a lot of things that is hard about it, but it is going to change. The energy will flip. It will turn and go the other direction. And you know, it's all for sure leading up to it. Like I said, I mean, we can still have a really, really scary thing that's going to happen, where a lot of people are going to die. And then that's what's going to flip us. And that's what the scary thing is about the, you know, the EMP and the, whatever, this frequency and whatever's inside of us, whatever's going to happen or whatever. But I don't think that they're going to warn us. Okay, well, on the 4th, everybody be prepared, because we're going to kill you all at the same time. I think that they would just all of a sudden do it right now. Oh, my stomach is going crazy. I think it would either go like right now, or they would have a big lead in on the violence with what Joe's doing. He's causing so many problems now. Russia's fed up. China's fed up. So we're going to get bombed, and instead, where we think we're going to get nuked, there'll be like a explosion kind of thing, but it would be an energy. It'd be a frequency. So it won't be a nuke, but the frequency can be, because I heard somebody talking about it, that it can be way more worse than a nuke. So I was like, oh my gosh. I know, like in the aliens and stuff, like their weapons is some kind of vibration thing. Like they can send out a vibration. I think that they can even, you know, just split all your atoms apart, you know, knock you out of the game. It is kind of video game-ish, really. Because if they can zap you and just make your little avatar disappear, then you're just out of the game. And you can't just jump back in like on paint gun, or what is that called? Is that called paint gunning? Paint gun wars? Paint gun wars? Now my stomach growling now. It's like, is that the parasites in there? Just feed me, feed me. They've got my mind so twisted up with the parasites. It's like everything my body does. Is that my parasites? Is that the parasites they just want to eat now? Or is it, am I not eating enough? Like, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell anymore. Like, what is me and what is them? That is what I'm saying, is like, you go through periods where it's like, it's so confusing. You got to go through the steps, whatever steps you are. Don't feel like you got to jump ahead, you know, because this other person, they're way more spiritually evolved. I got to jump way ahead. So it's not a competition. That is the indoctrination talking to you. That's your programming. That's where you got to get out of that mindset that you got to be somewhere else, something different. You got to do better. You got to compete and stuff like that. No, you're right where you're supposed to be. You're right where you're supposed to be. You're learning right where you're supposed to be learning. And, you know, and all I would advise you to do is just, you know, just changing your participation level. You know, begin to just put more effort into your communication and your understanding of life on this other realm, this other level, not this other level, this 3D level of the game. You know, start understanding yourself in the broader level. Because even if they use this like a frequency weapon thing and they evaporated your avatar, your energy would still be there. That's the thing, is why they're not allowed to do nukes, is because that was, it was wrecking the whole the energy. That was one thing that would wipe out souls. So that's why, you know, there's no way. Anybody who thinks that they can do nukes, no. We would be surrounded by alien ships in a hot second. They're not allowed to do nukes. So no matter how much they threaten it, no matter how much they keep saying it, that's a part of the show. That's a part of the game. That's a part of being able to do that. And then you think about, if they do that frequency, and we do have a lot of people who are really low vibration frequency, and they hit it with a certain one, and those people, they can't stay in the higher frequency. So then they, like, you know, dissipate or something, like how these frequency weapons work. So that could be, and that could be the whole idea of like the rapture or something, like this frequency weapon thing that they hit us with. And that the people who are all low vibration, the criminals, the bad people, they all just zap away. That was one thing too, is all through this stuff, when Trump was setting all this up, all through whatever, 2016 to 2020, but 2020 is when I was seeing him, because I wasn't watching all that. That's when I was more of a, you know, a TDS person. But when I got to 2020 and I started paying attention, then that was, you know, that was a completely different show. But that is when I saw him all the time. He would be signing executive orders, and there would always be these clauses. And all of the stuff was, he was taking everything. Anyone is involved with crimes against kids, is death penalty, and all your stuff is taken. So, you know, that's why, like, Oprah, all her shit, that's got, like, I would think her land will just go back to the Hawaiians. And probably, I mean, I don't know, Jeff Bezos, like, he's a bazillionaire, and I think he has property there. Zuck, he has property there. Those ones, like Zuck, Bezos, I will be shocked if he's not, you know, if his shit isn't confiscated and Amazon doesn't, like, go back to the people or something. Like, I don't know how all this stuff's going to go. Amazon is, like, so, like, I've had to use it so much living rural for sure, but there's certain things, it's like, and Amazon is a whole bunch of different people's businesses. Like, there could be changes and stuff, but that kind of seems like the way that we would be, especially for a while, because it's going to take a while for, you know, mom and pop shops to start coming back up. Like, there'll be the corporate fall, but then we've got to have, like, and I'm sure that there's some people who have been going in that direction for years. And, you know, they've been making clothes, food, all sorts of things. So, but, you know, there's a lot of people. And so I'm sure, and, you know, we don't have all these people right next to us. So there's going to still be, you know, online purchasing. And I would think we're still going to have people who are going to deliver things to our house. You know, who knows if it's going to end up being robots. or some kind of, you know, service where your packages come in and you go pick them up or something. I don't know. It will be all different things that people will figure out. And it can be all community by community. You could go one community and they've got robots running a whole goddamn city and everybody else is on vacation. And you could go to another one where they're all just like, you know, they like to do all the stuff themselves. Like, I think it's going to be a lot of very versatile. It's going to be very much about, like, the different villages are all kind of in the same wavelength, like the tribes, you know. So, anyways, I don't know if I said anything that had any value. I don't know what today is going to be today. Yeah, yesterday was Friday. So today's Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday. So Sunday is supposed to be big. Tomorrow is supposed to be, so this weekend would be a weekend where we're going to, you know, this would be the weekend where they want to try and kill us all. So, but if they do that, so if they're all supposed to go shut down on Sunday, and then nobody is there, that is going to have something to do. I don't know. This is just so interesting to watch how this is going to play out. To just see, you know, what are they going to do with all this now? Because they got a lot of stuff going. They got money to crash. They got people to be, like, there's a lot going on. So anyways, we'll see how this weekend plays out. But stay safe no matter what it is. And if you're by a city, stay out of the cities. Don't go into the cities. Stay as far away from a lot of people as you can. Is going to just become more and more violent. And that is where there's crowds, where there's a lot of people, that is where they can ease in a lot of instigators, so they can kind of blend them into the crowd. So they make sure that wherever, you know, you go, where there's a bunch of people, that there's going to be people there to do harm, to commit crimes and stuff. But nothing can happen to you unless it's meant to happen to you. But if you're trying to look to keep yourself in a place where you're not stressing out and having to go out and deal with a lot of drama, a lot of different stuff, then you just got to be aware that that is all going to be going on in all those places. And if you don't want to go out and deal with it and have to, you know, be scared and any of this stuff, then, you know, you got to just be aware of what's going on out there, because it's not going to stop. It's going to go. This would be the beginning of their end. But the cool thing is their end brings our beginning. So we are headed for our beginning. So their end is, you know, the best thing that could ever happen to us. So anyways, hopefully this is the weekend that there is their going down weekend. So hopefully, and I will talk to you later. Bye.